Hey Jack, how's it going today?
Hi, Emma. I'm doing well. Thanks for asking. It's been a busy morning, but I'm managing. How about you?
Same here. I've been running around all morning, trying to get everything done. You know, the usual stuff.
Yeah, I know the feeling. So, what's your daily routine like? What do you usually do in the morning?
Well, I wake up at 7 a.m. I usually start my day with a cup of coffee. Then I check my emails and make a to-do list for the day. What about you, Jack? Do you have a routine?
Yeah, I'm pretty much the same. I wake up early too, around 6:30 a.m. First thing I do is go for a run. It helps me get energized for the day. After that, I take a quick shower and get ready for work.
Oh, that's so nice. I wish I could get up that early and exercise, but I'm more of a night person. I find it hard to wake up early. I usually do yoga in the evening after work to relax.
That's actually a great idea. I've heard yoga is really good for stress. I should try it out sometime. So, do you usually have breakfast before you start your day?
Yes, I do. I usually have something light like cereal or toast. Sometimes I make a smoothie if I'm feeling fancy. What about you?
I'm more of a breakfast guy, so I usually make eggs and toast. I can't start my day without a proper breakfast. After that, I head to work. It's pretty much the same every day. How about after work? Any plans for the evening?
After work, I usually cook dinner, relax, and maybe watch a show or read a book. I try to keep my evenings calm, especially after a busy day. I like having some time to unwind. What do you do in the evening?
I do the same, actually. I'm a big fan of Netflix, so I usually watch a series or a movie. I also like spending time with friends on weekends. Sometimes we go out to eat or catch up over coffee. It's nice to have a balance between work and leisure.
Totally. It's so important to have time for yourself. I try to keep Sundays free for that too, to recharge for the week ahead. But it can be hard to stick to that, especially when there's always so much to do.
I hear you. It's easy to get caught up in work, but I think it's really important to find time for fun and relaxation. Otherwise, we can burn out.
Definitely. So, do you have any tips for staying balanced and managing your time?
Um, well, I've found that making a clear schedule really helps. I use a planner to write down my tasks and plan my day ahead of time. It makes everything feel more organized. Also, I try to say no to things when I feel too busy. How about you? Any tips?
I agree with you. I also use a planner to keep track of things. And I've started setting boundaries, like making sure I don't work late into the night. That way, I can keep my evenings free to relax.
That's a good one. Boundaries are key. It's all about finding that balance, right?
Exactly. Anyway, I think I need to get back to work now. But it was great talking to you about our routines.
Yeah, it was. I think I'll take your advice and try yoga in the evening. Thanks, Emma.
You're welcome, Jack. Hope you have a great rest of the day.
Episode 2. Talking about hobbies.
Hey, Jack. What have you been up to lately?
Hi, Emma. Actually, I've been getting into photography recently. It's something I've always been interested in, but I never had the time to really dive into it. Now, I try to take pictures whenever I have free time. What about you?
Any new hobbies? That's so cool. I've always wanted to try photography, but I haven't had the chance either. As for me, I've been getting into painting. I'm not very good at it yet, but I find it relaxing to paint in my free time.
Painting sounds fun. What kind of things do you paint? Do you have a favorite style?
I mostly paint landscapes right now. I find nature really inspiring. I've been practicing with watercolors, but it's a little tricky. How about you? What kind of photography do you enjoy?
I'm into landscape photography as well, but I also like taking pictures of architecture. There's something really beautiful about capturing the details of buildings, especially old ones. I want to start doing more portraits soon too.
That sounds amazing. I bet your photos look great. I'd love to see some of them. It's interesting how our hobbies are kind of connected, since we both enjoy capturing the beauty of the world around us, whether through a camera or a paintbrush.
Yeah, that's true. It's always nice to express yourself creatively. Do you find painting to be a good way to relax after a busy day?
Definitely. I think it's a great way to clear my mind. I can just focus on the colors and the brushstrokes and forget about everything else. It's like a mini escape for me. Do you feel the same way about photography?
Exactly. When I'm out taking pictures, it's like I forget about any stress. I just focus on finding the right shot and being in the moment. It helps me unwind.
That's awesome. I think we both found hobbies that help us balance work and relaxation. Do you think your hobby helps you see the world differently now?
Definitely. I'm always looking for interesting angles and lighting now. I notice details I never paid attention to before. Do you have the same experience with painting?
Yes, for sure. When I'm painting, I notice small details in nature that I would normally overlook. It makes me appreciate the little things more. It's like it changes the way I see everything.
That's a great way to look at it. I think hobbies like ours help us see the world in a deeper way. They teach us to pay attention to the beauty around us, even in everyday life.
I totally agree. Hobbies can teach us so much, not just about the activity itself, but also about ourselves. It's also a good way to meet people with similar interests.
Yeah, it's fun to connect with others who share your passion. I've met a few photographers online, and we often exchange tips and ideas. It's a great way to learn and grow.
That's awesome. I've joined a couple of online painting communities as well. It's great to get feedback from other artists and see what they're working on. It motivates me to keep improving.
I think that's one of the best parts of having a hobby, being able to share it with others and learn from each other. So, what's your next project? Anything exciting planned for your painting?
I've been thinking about painting a cityscape, something a bit different from my usual nature paintings. I want to challenge myself and try new techniques. What about you? Any photography projects you're working on?
I've been planning to do a photo series about the changing seasons. I want to capture how different places look in different seasons. It's going to take a while, but I'm excited to get started.
That sounds like an amazing project. I bet you'll get some stunning photos. We should definitely share our progress with each other along the way.
Absolutely. I'd love that. It's always inspiring to see someone else's creative journey.
Agreed. Well, I should get going now, but it was really nice talking to you about our hobbies, Jack. Let's catch up again soon.
For sure. Thanks for the chat, Emma. I'll be looking forward to seeing your next painting. Episode 3. Talking about traveling.
Hey Jack, I've been thinking about traveling lately. Have you been on any trips recently?
Hey Emma. Actually, I just got back from a weekend trip to the mountains. It was amazing. I love getting away from the city and spending time in nature. How about you? Any trips planned?
That sounds wonderful. I've been wanting to go somewhere new. I've been to a few places, but I've never been to the mountains. What was it like?
It was so peaceful. The air is fresh, and the views are breathtaking. I spent most of the time hiking and just enjoying the scenery. It's so different from being in the city. I think everyone should spend some time in nature.
That sounds incredible. I've been wanting to visit the beach, actually. There's something about the ocean that's so calming. I've been planning a trip for a while now, but I'm still trying to figure out the best place to go.
The beach is a great idea too. I love the sound of the waves and the feeling of sand under my feet. Do you have a specific beach in mind?
I was thinking about going somewhere tropical, maybe to a place with clear blue water. I've heard that the Maldives is beautiful. Have you ever been there?
I've heard a lot of great things about the Maldives. I haven't been there yet, but it's definitely on my list. It looks like paradise with the white sandy beaches and crystal clear water. Do you like exploring new cities too, or do you prefer more relaxing destinations?
I think I'm more of a beach person when it comes to relaxation, but I also love exploring new cities. The last city I visited was Paris. It was amazing to see the landmarks and experience the culture. Have you been to any cities you really enjoyed?
Paris is such an iconic city. I've been to Barcelona before, and it was one of my favorite cities. The architecture, the food, and the atmosphere were all so unique. I also loved the fact that there's always something to do, whether it's exploring museums or just walking around the streets.
That sounds fantastic. I've always wanted to go to Barcelona. It must be fun to get lost in the narrow streets and discover hidden gems. How do you usually plan your trips? Do you book everything in advance, or just go with the flow?
I usually like to have a rough plan, but I also enjoy leaving room for spontaneity. I'll book my flights and accommodation ahead of time, but I like to explore the city without a strict schedule. That way, I can discover new places that aren't on the typical tourist path. How about you? Do you plan everything in detail?
I like to plan most things, especially when it comes to accommodation and transportation. But I also try to leave some time to explore and see where the day takes me. It's fun to find new spots that aren't in the guidebooks. Do you have any tips for traveling on a budget?
Definitely. One tip I have is to book flights in advance, especially if you're flexible with your dates. I also try to stay in hostels or use Airbnb to save money on accommodation. Another thing is to eat like a local. Street food is often cheaper and gives you a real taste of the culture. What about you? Any travel tips?
That's great advice. I also recommend using public transportation when traveling. It's usually much cheaper than taxis or rideshares, and it's a great way to experience the city like a local. Plus, it's good for the environment.
I totally agree. And if you can, try walking around the city. You discover so much more when you're on foot. I also love taking photos while traveling to capture the memories.
Yes, that's so true. I always take tons of photos when I travel. It's nice to look back on the memories. Traveling really opens your eyes to new cultures and experiences.
Exactly. It's one of the best ways to learn about the world and meet new people. Do you have a dream destination you'd love to visit someday?
I've always wanted to go to Japan. The culture, the food, and the history are fascinating to me. I think it would be amazing to see Tokyo, Kyoto, and all the beautiful temples. What about you, Jack? Any dream destinations?
Japan is definitely on my list too. But I've always wanted to visit New Zealand. The landscapes there are so stunning, and I've heard the people are incredibly friendly. Plus, there are so many outdoor activities to do, like hiking and bungee jumping.
New Zealand sounds amazing. It must be incredible to see the natural beauty there. I'll add that to my list as well. We definitely need to plan some trips together someday.
Absolutely. Let's start saving up for those dream trips. It'll be an adventure.
Definitely. I can't wait. Let's keep talking about travel and start planning our next big adventure.